Yeah, this whole clicks for iPhone thing, yeah, it's not good. What's going on, guys? Ty Tech here, back again. And I've been reviewing smart devices and smart accessories for a while now, from smartphones to smartwatches to all of their company accessories, from cases to cables to charging stations. I usually try to find the bigger picture of whatever accessory or device it is that I'm trying to review, so I can get the more positive side of whatever it is I'm trying to introduce you guys to. But with today's accessory, it's honestly one of the coolest accessories I've ever used, and honestly one of the most pointless accessories that I have ever used. This is Clicks for iPhone, and it's exactly what it looks like: a detachable keyboard for your iPhone. And it was made and developed by one of the tech YouTube OGs, Michael Fisher, as a way of bringing back some of the good that was lost with the cell phone evolution as it's gone on over the past decade and a half, since really 2007 when the first iPhone came out. However, after using Clicks for the past 2 weeks and for $140, I feel like this is an accessory even the most nostalgic among us should not buy, and that this is one of the good things that should have been left in the past. But before we take a look at Clicks for iPhone, as always, I am your host, Ty Tech. Welcome to the channel, guys. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys have ever used Clicks before, let me know down in the comments what color you guys got and which iPhone you guys got Clicks for. Now, before I get into my review of Clicks for iPhone, I do have to preface at the beginning that this review has to do with my experience with Clicks on the 15 Pro specifically. I can't speak to anyone else's experience with Clicks on either one of the iPhone 14 Pro models or the other iPhone 15 models that you can get Clicks in. You can get Clicks in a multitude of different colors, and they are going to vary in different prices depending on which phone and what model you get. But if you just so happen to be one of those people that picked up Clicks for one of the other iPhone models, let me know down in the comments what your experience was like while using Clicks for iPhone. However, the design of Clicks is going to be just about the same no matter which iPhone you got it in. Clicks is a one-piece design, with the top part of Clicks being made out of liquid silicone, with the back section made out of silicone and polycarbonate. The back is accompanied with a vegan leather cover at the bottom of Clicks, so you guys can have a little bit more comfort for your hands when using Clicks. And that's actually one of the biggest attributes, or one of the strongest attributes about Clicks. That's actually very, very comfortable to use two-handed. Probably because Clicks is so light, it only adds 62 grams to the overall weight of my iPhone 15 Pro. You have buttons on the side for your power, volume, and action buttons, of course, if you're using an iPhone 15 model. But of course, the star of the show is that classic keyboard at the bottom of Clicks, which is probably going to give you guys a lot of good memories of IMing angry messages to your girlfriends. Clicks uses the classic QWERTY keyboard layout that is used across the board for most keyboards nowadays, but this keyboard does have some tricks up its sleeves, such as a black light so you guys can type in dark spaces. You also have wireless charging with Clicks, so you guys don't have to lose out on that either. There is a wireless pass-through at the bottom of Clicks, so you guys can charge your iPhone while keeping your iPhone inside of Clicks. And I'm also proud to say that Clicks does not take away from battery life at all. At least in my use with my 15 Pro, I didn't notice a drop in battery life or overall use time. There are also multiple shortcuts that you can use while using Clicks to navigate through the OS, but I will get back to those in a little bit. Now, before I go into the flaws about Clicks for iPhone, and oh boy, trust me, there's a lot of them, I'm going to give Clicks its flowers, because it actually is a really nice blast from the past. As someone who really didn't get the chance to use or interact with physical smartphone keyboards or phone keyboards in general, it has been really nice to have that sort of nostalgic feeling. And it has created some funny moments for me personally when giving Clicks to somebody to use and them just being like,
"What is this?"
It's created a lot of funny moments for people, especially those people who actually remember the times when BlackBerry and Sidekicks were the dominant phones in the marketplace. And if you are one of those people who decided to give Clicks a try, I'm sure you guys are not disappointed with the durability of Clicks either. This is actually far more well built and far stronger than I ever really anticipated it being. I was actually far surprised at how well the liquid silicone has held up to this point. It hasn't been gathering dust or lint like a lot of silicone cases have gotten, probably because the top of it is liquid silicone and the bottom of it is polycarbonate. So you really don't tend to notice it as much, but I was actually very impressed at how well built and strong Clicks is. And again, it doesn't affect battery life. So I do have to give Clicks its flowers on that. And now to the bad stuff. That was all the good from my own personal use of Clicks for iPhone with the iPhone 15 Pro. Now I have to go into all the bad stuff, which I will also preface by saying that Michael Fisher did go over in his introductory video about Clicks, about all the pitfalls and all the downsides to Clicks because he is a professional. In my opinion, as a reviewer, Clicks is just bad in like the actual use of the product for anything more than just novelty. It's just bad. Mr. Mobile Michael Fisher illustrates the positives to Clicks as the 3 S's: space, shortcuts, and sensation. First, let's start out with space. The main benefit to Clicks is that you do get the entire rest of your display that's usually taken up by your virtual keyboard whenever it does come up. Yes, you do get all that space back that you lose with the virtual keyboard, but you still have to navigate through the entire rest of the OS with the actual screen when doing things like tapping search bars in Google and whatnot. So what is the point of a physical keyboard attachment? And then again, the space that you get back from getting rid of the virtual keyboard really isn't all that much anyway. And the space that you get to actually type on instead of it being on the physical screen of your iPhone, at least as far as the 15 Pro version goes, it's not all that big of a space. These keys are kind of tightly cramped and kind of packed in together. And even as someone with small hands, as me, admittedly, it did lead to a lot of misclicks. Get it?
Oh, brother!
I will say that I can probably come from my own inexperience using a physical keyboard because I didn't grow up using physical keyboards on my phones. But also, this is in no way better than a virtual keyboard at this point. For example, on Clicks, you do have shortcut buttons for both numbers and caps lock. But what most people will be missing is the visual message of what exactly it is that you're clicking on. So most of the time you're going to be kind of lost as to where you are in a certain text, what it is that you're trying to click on, and whether or not you've even set it to that setting in the first place. The worst offender as it pertains to Clicks with iPhone is passwords. You have no way of knowing whether or not you're in special characters, whether or not you're on numbers, whether or not you're on letters, whether or not it's capitalized. You have no way of knowing any of that information because it's just a physical keyboard. And this is marketed as a creator's keyboard. I'm sorry, but as a creator, I wouldn't want to use this keyboard to create anything. At least as it pertains to the iPhone 15 Pro model. I have no idea what it's like on the iPhone 15 Pro Max or the iPhone 14 Pro Max. But I actually attempted to write this whole script for this video on Clicks just to give it the whole try to make sure that I was getting the whole experience from using Clicks. And it feels like it aged me 50 years. I could not type faster than maybe 5 to 10 words a minute with Clicks while trying to type the script. This is not a creator keyboard, and I don't know what kind of creator would actually want to use this to create anything. However, something that Clicks does give you is the use of shortcuts, something that Mac and iPad users have been using for years. So now you're able to navigate through the OS with commands like Command H to go back home, Command Space Bar to bring up Spotlight search, Command F inside Apple Music for a new music search, Command N to bring up a new playlist, or simply pressing the space bar through a web page to scroll through it. I actually found a lot of those shortcuts to be quite useful for me, but therein lies the problem. I am an enthusiast. I feel like the vast majority of people aren't going to be using these shortcuts even if they use Clicks for iPhone, especially since the majority of the time you still have to navigate through the OS with your fingers anyway. For instance, legitimately, which is quicker to go back home? Finding the Command H buttons to go back home if you're not used to using a keyboard, or simply swiping up from the bottom of your display? And the shortcuts don't work across similar apps. For example, Command F inside Apple Music to bring up a new music search doesn't work inside Spotify, and Command N inside the Mail app to compose a new email doesn't work inside the Gmail app. But I assume they're gonna iron that out in future generations if there are. I'm not saying that the shortcuts were a bad idea. The shortcuts were actually a very, very good idea to implement with clicks, especially since you can only really get shortcuts on Mac and iPad anyway. I just feel like after 17 years of never using shortcuts on phones, I just feel like no one's gonna really take the time to learn the whole list of shortcuts that Clicks has to offer. Go to Clicks website. There's a huge list of shortcuts that people can use to navigate through their OS while using Clicks. I just don't feel like most people are going to take the time to learn all of these shortcuts. And there are many useful ones. I just feel like the vast majority of people aren't going to find the shortcuts that Clicks has to offer very useful, which is only going to make Clicks even more niche. But I do know a lot of people that are actually going to find the complexity and the nicheness about Clicks to be the one factor that actually makes them buy something like this. And that actually gets down to the last S that Mr. Fisher goes over, the sensation of typing on a physical keyboard nowadays.
What the
But again, 17 years after having physical keyboards, people have now adjusted to not having that clicking noise all the time, or at least having that clicking noise in different settings, like an office or a library. When you're just out at lunch with family or sitting at the dinner table, no one wants to hear you clicking on your keyboard. No one wants to hear that. And I got that look from other people multiple times because of it. Actually turned out being a little bit funny because I am a bit of an so I just kept on doing it. But for the vast majority of people who do care about what people think about them, that isn't gonna go over very well. And again, you can love the sensation of typing on a physical keyboard all you want, but it doesn't stop it from being so much slower than a virtual keyboard. Of course, there's the main thing with Clicks. Putting it inside your pocket obviously brings up the "are you just happy to see me" joke. I guess the point of this video is to say, from a creative standpoint, at least for me, and at least when it pertains to the iPhone 15 Pro, Clicks does not help anything creatively. It actually makes everything a lot more cumbersome and clunky when trying to create anything. Like I said before, when I was trying to write the script for this video while using Clicks, it feels like it aged me 50 years. During my time testing Clicks, they did also release an app for this accessory, but that really didn't change or add anything positive to my experience with Clicks whatsoever. Commercially, which I don't think that this accessory was really made to be commercially successful, but of course every business wants to be successful, they want to make money, but I don't feel like the average person is going to look at Clicks and want to use it whatsoever. The vast majority of people that I actually gave Clicks to use, their collective response was,
What?
I feel like most people, even if they are very nostalgic for something like this, are going to be very, very annoyed at just the clunkiness of having to run your fingers across a physical keyboard at this day and age, the time consumption for doing basic things like typing up a text message or typing up an email. Give this to someone like your grandpa and see how fast it takes him to have a brain aneurysm. Overall, I would say for Clicks for iPhone, I love the idea. I love the fact that Mr. Mobile Michael Fisher tried to give mobile technology a fresh coat of paint, because it's not really something you see a lot nowadays, and it's gotten kind of boring over the past couple of years. I admire him for trying to bring something back from the past and give mobile technology a fresh coat of paint. And as an enthusiast, I can really admire that, but I don't feel like Clicks in its current form was the best way to go about that. As someone who never got to use a physical keyboard, it was honestly really fun the first couple of days using Clicks as my daily driver with my iPhone 15 Pro. However, I quickly learned that maybe it's just my age or my inexperience using a keyboard, but I quickly learned that Clicks also just made interacting and using my smartphone way more clunky than it needs to be. Not only does it make communication way slower than it needs to be, it inconveniences the person using it with the lack of social cues, closed keys leading to misclicks, a very questionable appearance. Also, Clicks has a habit of simply not working. The availability of clicks to use on a smartphone, to me, is kind of like those people who dress up their dogs. I mean, you didn't have to do that. And I kind of wish you hadn't. As a novelty, I will say clicks, great. As a full-time useful tool,
No!
but hey, maybe you guys are different from me. Maybe you guys want to give clicks a try. So if that is the case, you guys can head on over to clicks.tech.com and pick up clicks for iPhone for both the iPhone 14 Pro models and every iPhone 15 model. Prices are gonna range anywhere from $140 to $160, and you can pick them up in multiple color options. But this has been my review of clicks for iPhone. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later. What's going on, guys? TyTech here. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video and would like to check out more, check out some of my other videos that should be floating around the screen right now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.